For my presentation today, I'm going to be introducing the topic of gang violence in the streets of Toronto. Today we're going to be talking about what gangs are, why people join gangs, gangs in the GTA, gangs in recent news, and how to prevent gang violence. So what are street gangs? Street gangs are self-formed, devoted persons, usually in their teens. They engage in antisocial and criminal activity, the selling of drugs and stolen property, and they operate with fear and intimidation. What does gang life entail? Gang life entails a high risk of injury and death, a higher risk of getting a criminal record, the selling of drugs and stolen property. Gang members are addicted to drugs and alcohol, and they solve their problems with violence and shootings. So why do people join gangs? People join gangs for a sense of belonging. Their family life at home might not be great, so they turn to gangs and other groups. Many of them are addicted to drugs and alcohol. Many kids like the excitement that gang life entails. Others join for protection. Kids grow up in bad neighborhoods, so they might be encouraged to join a gang. And they also join gangs for the perceived power and status. They see gangs with tons of money, nice cars, nice clothes. So the gangs of Toronto. Here's a list of a few of the gangs. It includes the Bloods, the Crips, the Galloway Boys, the Malvern Crew. The Crips and the Bloods have been in Toronto streets since the early 90s, and they operate in neighborhoods such as Jane and Finch, Rexdale, Malvern, and Galloway. In recent news, there's a couple shootings this summer. Shooting at a Scarborough block party. It left 23 injured and 2 dead, and the shooting at the Eaton Centre. And I have a short clip here from CBC News.
The legendary Dragons are back, bigger than ever. And the wealthy barber's David Chilton is ready to enter the den. Dragon's Den, 8 Wednesdays on CBC.
Today, Toronto's police chief hinted that the notorious Toronto street gang, the Galloway Boys, may have been involved in Monday's shooting. From the 1990s, the gang was known for dealing drugs and random gun violence in Scarborough. In 2004, police made a string of arrests as part of the biggest roundup in Toronto's history. That followed a number of murders, including the fatal shooting of an innocent victim, Brenton Charlton. Then in 2009, one of 3 men convicted of the murder was gang leader Tyshan Riley. He has since been convicted of 2 other attempted murders and is currently serving a life sentence. Here's John Lancaster now on why one victim of the gang is fearful the situation could get even worse for residents of that part of the city.
It was a new low for a city already grappling with a series of public and deadly shootings. Monday's gunfire left 2 dead and 23 more wounded. It appears the signs of the pending gang violence were there. Where we going? Where we going? These are videos posted online by the so-called Galloway Boys, or G-Way gang. Recently, they have ramped up their taunts of rivals, even threatening to shoot them. CBC News has learned at least one of those wounded Monday night is a G-Way member.
The Galloway Boys was an extremely violent gang. And
Today, the city's police chief hinted the Galloway Boys may be involved in Monday's mass shootings.
Still a gang that is functioning, and what we're seeing is a new leadership emerging there.
Gang sources tell me a younger and more violent breed of Galloway Boys has risen to fill that leadership void, and they don't care where they open fire or who's caught in the middle. I'm also told the price of a kilo of cocaine on the streets has risen dramatically, and that's fueling a violent drug turf war.
They need to find a way to charge these spirits.
Controversial, yes, but like many, he worries, Monday night shootings will be followed by even more violence, retribution, and tit-for-tat murders. John Lancaster, CBC News, Toronto.
So what can be done to prevent this type of gang violence? The first thing is limit the access of guns. This is the responsibility of the Provincial Weapons Unit and the Guns and Gangs Task Force. The increase of targeted policing bad areas around Toronto more frequently, so more officers on the streets. To focus on criminal reintegration. After these people are released from jail, they need to get some help to get back on their feet, steady job, etc. The most important thing I feel though is the parents' involvement with children. Parents need to know who their child's friends are, where they're going. They need to encourage them in their schoolwork and be a positive role model. And there's also programs for kids. These programs give kids a sense of belonging, they build confidence, and it gives kids a way to express themselves. In conclusion, gangs pose a huge threat to our streets. Drugs, shootings, and other things ruin the lives of innocent people. There is no one solution. It takes effective parenting, policing, and community involvement to combat gang activity.